The weekend at home left a strange taste for Golden State, not disastrous, but far from ideal for a team trying to establish rhythm and identity. Coming off an encouraging road win, the expectation was to build momentum and turn this stretch into something more convincing. Splitting the two games softens the blow on paper, especially after taking care of business convincingly in one of them, but the loss that followed exposed issues that have been lingering beneath the surface for a while now, and that is what makes it harder to ignore. Against Atlanta, the Warriors were simply outplayed from start to finish. There were moments where the game felt within reach, short stretches where the offense flowed, or the defense managed to slow things down, but overall the difference in energy and execution was clear. Atlanta looked sharper, more decisive, and more connected on both ends of the floor. Golden State never truly imposed its will, and that is always a red flag, especially at home. When a team controls the tempo and still fails to dictate the outcome, it usually points to deeper structural problems. Offensively, the burden once again fell heavily on the shoulders of the stars. Stephen Curry showed urgency and intent, attacking with purpose and trying to pull the team along. Jimmy Butler matched that effort, bringing his usual physicality and competitive edge. Outside of those two, production was scarce. Very few players managed to make a consistent impact, and that imbalance made the offense predictable and easier to defend. When opponents can focus their game plan on stopping two players, the margin for error becomes dangerously small. That lack of scoring depth is becoming one of the most pressing concerns. If Golden State truly sees itself as a contender, there has to be a reliable third option who can punish defenses and keep the floor spaced. Right now, that role is unclear. One player showed flashes, but flashes are not enough at this level. The rest of the rotation struggled to find rhythm, and the box score reflected that imbalance in a way that is hard to overlook. Championships are not won when the offensive load is that top-heavy. Defensively, the problems were just as evident. Atlanta attacked mismatches, moved the ball freely, and capitalized on open looks. Multiple players had standout performances, not because of isolated brilliance, but because the Warriors failed to consistently disrupt actions or control the glass. Rebounding was an issue, perimeter coverage broke down too often, and help rotations came a step late. When one opponent after another finds comfort against your defense, it becomes a trend rather than an anomaly. The frustrating part is that this game could have been far worse. The deficit was manageable by the final buzzer, and the team did show some fight late, trimming what was once a significant gap. Still, that late push does not erase the fact that the largest lead reached a level that should never happen in that building. Moral victories do not move teams up the standings, and relying on late comebacks is not a sustainable formula. Looking ahead, the timing could not be more delicate. Portland is next, a team that has consistently caused problems this season. Facing an opponent that already has confidence against you is never ideal, especially when momentum is shaky. That game feels pivotal, not just in the standings, but in terms of belief. A strong performance could reset the tone of this home stretch, while another stumble would only amplify the doubts. With another tough matchup following soon after, the margin for patience is shrinking quickly. Beyond the court, the broader league context is adding pressure. The trade landscape is shifting, and news around potential star movement is changing the calculus for several teams, including Golden State. When major pieces may come off the board elsewhere, opportunities close fast. That reality makes internal indecision even more costly. Waiting too long can mean missing the window altogether, and this roster does not look complete enough to justify standing still. The uncertainty surrounding possible roster changes only adds to the tension. There's a clear sense that something has to give, that the current mix is not maximizing the championship window that still exists. Scoring balance, rebounding help, and defensive consistency all point toward the need for meaningful adjustments. Hoping internal growth alone will solve everything feels optimistic at best and negligent at worst, given how competitive the conference has become. Turnovers continue to compound those issues. This has been a season-long problem, and the recent games did little to suggest progress. Careless passes, rushed decisions, and loose ball handling repeatedly swung momentum the wrong way. While some level of risk comes with a motion-heavy offense, the volume and timing of these mistakes are damaging. Certain players are more prone to them, and recognizing those patterns is essential if changes are going to be effective. There is also a broader conversation about role optimization. Some younger players bring energy and potential, but their minutes have often come with mistakes that negate their positives. Meanwhile, others who take better care of the ball and play within themselves struggle to find consistent opportunities. At some point, the coaching staff and front office have to decide whether development or stability is the priority, because straddling that line has led to inconsistency on both ends. With the calendar moving forward and eligibility constraints nearing resolution, the pressure to act is intensifying. Remaining passive risks leaving the team stuck in the middle, competitive enough to hover around the play-in range, but flawed enough to fall short when it matters most. For a franchise built on ambition and recent success, that outcome should be unacceptable. The coming days and games will reveal whether the organization is willing to make the hard decisions necessary to change the trajectory before it is too late. As the home stand continues, the tension around this team feels heavier with each passing game. It is not just about wins and losses anymore, but about direction. Golden State looks like a group caught between what it has been and what it still wants to become. The flashes of brilliance are there, but they are surrounded by long stretches of inconsistency that make it difficult to trust the process on a nightly basis. For a team with championship expectations, that uncertainty is unsettling. One of the biggest challenges right now is how narrow the margin for success has become. When everything clicks, the Warriors can still overwhelm opponents with pace, shooting, and experience. The problem is that those nights are becoming rarer. Too often, the offense stalls when the ball sticks or when defenses load up on the primary creators. Without consistent secondary scoring, every possession feels heavier, every missed shot more costly. That kind of pressure builds quickly over the course of a game and eventually shows in body language. The lack of physical presence has also been exposed. Against more athletic or aggressive teams, Golden State struggles to control the boards and protect the paint. Second chance points have become a recurring theme, and they drain momentum just as much as turnovers do. It is difficult to sustain runs when defensive stops are followed by offensive rebounds for the opponent. This is an area where effort alone is not enough. Roster construction matters, and right now the balance is not quite right. Rotation decisions have come under scrutiny as well. Certain lineups bleed points, yet they continue to see extended minutes. Others show promise but lack continuity, making it hard for chemistry to develop. This constant shuffle reflects a team still searching for answers, still trying to identify which combinations can be trusted when the game tightens. That uncertainty can bleed onto the floor, where hesitation often replaces instinct. As these issues persist, the conversation naturally shifts toward potential changes. The league does not wait for anyone, and opportunities are fleeting. Other teams are actively exploring ways to improve, and standing pat can be just as risky as making a bold move. Golden State has assets that could reshape the roster, but every decision comes with consequences. Moving young players may hurt in the long term, yet failing to maximize the current window could be even more costly. The challenge is finding the right fit rather than chasing names. Adding another scorer without addressing defensive holes or ball security would only shift the problem rather than solve it. The ideal addition would bring balance, someone who can contribute on both ends and alleviate the pressure on the stars. That kind of player is not easy to find, especially mid-season, which makes timing and decisiveness even more critical. Meanwhile, the upcoming schedule offers little room for error. Each game carries added weight, not just for positioning, but for confidence. Beating a team that has consistently had your number can change the tone quickly, while another loss could deepen the sense of urgency. The mental aspect of this stretch should not be underestimated. Teams often reveal their true identity when pressure mounts, and Golden State is no exception. Veteran leadership remains one of the team's strengths, but even that has limits. Experience can steady the ship, but it cannot compensate for mismatches in energy or execution. The core players continue to compete, but asking them to cover every flaw is unrealistic. At this stage of their careers, support is not a luxury, it is a necessity. There is also the question of identity. For years, the Warriors were defined by unselfish play, relentless movement, and a defensive edge that complemented their shooting. That identity has been blurred. The ball movement comes and goes, the defense fluctuates, and the sense of inevitability that once surrounded this team has faded. Reclaiming that identity requires more than speeches or film sessions. It demands alignment between personnel and philosophy. Turnovers, once again, sit at the center of that conversation. They disrupt rhythm, ignite opponent runs, and sap energy from the defense. Cleaning them up would immediately raise the team's floor, but doing so may require uncomfortable choices about who plays and who does not. Trust is earned, and right now, not everyone in the rotation has shown they can be trusted in high-leverage moments. As trade eligibility timelines approach, the clock becomes louder. Waiting too long risks being forced into a reactive move rather than a proactive one. The front office must weigh the value of continuity against the reality of the standings and the eye test. Playing .500 basketball with glaring weaknesses is not a sustainable strategy for a team with championship aspirations. The next few games will not define the season, but they will shape the narrative. How the Warriors respond to adversity, how they adjust lineups, and how they compete on both ends will send a clear message about where this team is headed. Momentum in the league can shift quickly, but so can opportunity. The question is whether Golden State is prepared to seize it before the window narrows even further. What makes this moment especially delicate is how thin the line is between being competitive and being forgettable. Golden State is not getting blown out every night, and that almost makes the situation more dangerous. Close losses and uneven wins can create the illusion that everything is fixable with minor tweaks, when in reality the flaws run deeper. The league is unforgiving, and teams that hesitate often find themselves stuck in the middle with no clear path forward. There is also the growing issue of predictability. Opponents know where the pressure points are, and they attack them without hesitation. They force the ball out of certain hands, test the decision-making of role players, and challenge the Warriors to beat them in uncomfortable ways. Too often, those challenges have been met with rushed shots, forced passes, or defensive breakdowns that swing momentum decisively. All of this circles back to the same unavoidable reality. Standing still is not a solution. Whether through rotation changes, tactical adjustments, or roster moves, something has to shift to break the current pattern. The season is moving quickly, and every game played without clarity is another step closer to a ceiling that no longer matches the ambition of this franchise. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. In what could be one of the most seismic shifts in recent NBA history, whispers around the league suggest that Anthony Davis may be heading to the Golden State Warriors. If the rumors prove true, the implications for both the Western Conference and the broader NBA landscape would be staggering. Sources close to the situation hint that discussions have accelerated behind closed doors, with both Davis's camp and Warriors executives reportedly expressing optimism about a potential alignment that could redefine the balance of power in the league. The Warriors, fresh off a period of recalibration following recent playoff disappointments, appear to be positioning themselves for a dramatic push to reclaim dominance. The addition of a player of Davis's caliber, known for his defensive versatility, rim protection, and scoring prowess, could seamlessly complement the Warriors' already potent backcourt and sharpshooting trio. Analysts have long speculated that pairing Davis with Golden State's unique brand of ball movement and spacing could produce a team capable of challenging the league's elite in a way few imagine possible. Meanwhile, the league itself seems to be bracing for a potential domino effect. A move like this could spark further trades and roster reshuffles as teams scramble to respond to the sudden shift in championship calculus. The Warriors' front office, known for its strategic maneuvering, has reportedly explored several options to make the acquisition feasible without undermining their long-term salary cap flexibility. Insider chatter points to complex negotiations, potential player exchanges, and draft considerations that could accompany any official announcement. Fans and pundits alike have taken to social media to speculate on the cultural and strategic impact of such a union. Some envision a powerhouse squad reminiscent of the early dynasty years, while others caution that integrating a star of Davis's profile could present challenges in chemistry and on-court fit. Regardless, the mere suggestion of Davis in a Warriors uniform has ignited excitement across multiple fan bases and has put the NBA rumor mill into overdrive. Whether this speculation ultimately crystallizes into a blockbuster trade remains uncertain. But one thing is clear. If Anthony Davis does indeed join Golden State, the ripple effects will be felt across the league, from front offices to fans to analysts. The Warriors, already synonymous with innovation and adaptability, may be on the verge of a transformation that could once again position them at the pinnacle of the NBA hierarchy. Until then, every insider tip, cryptic social media post, and cautious hint will be dissected as the basketball world holds its breath. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts and comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.